It's a game called Word Domination. You are basically master thieves stealing national landmarks through spelling, I guess, is how it works. It's a fun game if you like games like Scrabble or games that involve spelling. There's kind of a fun take on it, where kind of what letters you can use are kind of impacted by the letters everyone else uses in kind of a different way from the way that happens in Scrabble. So what the hell am I talking about? Well, what's going to happen is on your turn, you're going to have this grid of letters that are out here. Each letter you'll see corresponds to the different national landmarks. So the N corresponds to the Niagara Falls. You're going to get a tile. You're going to put it face up, and you're going to put it anywhere on the outskirts of the board, so long as it is to the left, right, up, or down from the letter that's out there. So basically not diagonally adjacent to something. So let's say I had E, and I placed it here. And let's say I was this dark green character over here. What I now have to do is I have to spell a word that incorporates the letter E and incorporates other letters on this board. The key thing is this isn't Boggle, they don't have to all be connected to each other. You just have to use all the letters, including the letter E. So let's say I decided to do sender. So I would go S, E, N. And what's happening is I'm putting, these are actually zeppelins, which is what you're using to steal those national landmarks on the board. You're putting a zeppelin on each letter you're using. The idea is that the zeppelins are going to be used to sort of airlift the landmarks out of there. So that would be the end of your turn. Now the next player goes, they take a letter, this one's a T, they put it somewhere else on the board, and now they have to form a word using the letter T. Let's say they decided to do tires. Is that out there? Yeah, tires. So what they would do is, let's say they were the light green. For some reason this game has 4 character colors. They're dark brown, light brown, dark green, light green, but there you go. They could put one on the T. They can put one on the I, and then when they go to take an R, they can knock off the dark green that's on the R, knock off the dark green that's on the E, and knock off the dark green that's on the S. So they got tires. Now they could have used an E or an S that doesn't have a dark green on it, but in general it tends to be a good thing to try and knock the other person's piece off the board if you can. Let's say brown goes, brown draws their own tile. They have a Y. They decide to do tiny, so they go T, knock this guy off, I, and knock this guy off, Y. These guys get theirs back. That's the end of a round. Our round is tracked on this tracker right here. We're done with round 1, we're going to go to round 2. Now the key thing is, as the game goes along, you have the potential to put a second zeppelin on a tile that you already have one zeppelin on. So let's say our friends dark green are going again. They draw an E. They put it here. And they decide that they're going to spell out deeds. So they do D. That's a second dark green on that letter D. E. E, knock this guy off. D. I'm sorry. Leave this guy on. And S. Sorry, we had to put this guy here because we had to use the letter we actually just played. So now we've got 2 zeppelins on the D and 2 zeppelins on the E. So in the storyline of this game, the idea is you now have enough air might from your zeppelins that you can actually officially lift these tiles off the board. So you are stealing Mount Everest and you are stealing the Dead Sea Scrolls, 2 items which have vastly different amounts of weight, but we're going to go along with the storyline. So you steal both these letters, you put them off to the side. We're going to take 2 fresh tiles from the box, put them face down so it says stolen. We're going to leave 1 zeppelin behind on each one, and this indicates that these are tiles that we have stolen. So the ones that we put there are not the ones you actually stole. They are other ones from the box that you put to represent the fact that you stole something. So what's going to happen now on future turns is whenever you want, if you don't want to use a letter that's on the board, you can actually use a letter that you have off to the side. So if I wanted to do sand in the future, S-A-N, knock this guy off the board, and let's say this D was no longer here, let's say somebody else had stolen the D, I could use this D. So I could spell sand. Nobody else could use the D, though. That's mine because I'm the one who stole it. So you have that letter because you stole it, but nobody else has access to the letter that you stole. You keep on going around. You take turns. When you get to the end of the 6th round, So once everyone is gone at the end of round 6, that's going to be the end of the game. It's a score tracker. It's pretty cute. You've got, these are the cops that are coming to get you for stealing the landmarks. So round 1, they're just hanging out eating donuts. Round 2, they get a distress call. They hop on their scooters. Round 3, they show up. Eventually, round 6, the SWAT team arrives. You're kind of done for. So at the end of the game, let's say a bunch more tiles have been flipped over. What's going to happen is you're going to get points for each tile that you have successfully stolen. The way it's going to work is each tile that you've stolen is worth 1 point. So this one right here, light green, would get 1 point. Each grouping of 3 tiles with your marker on them, all the stolen tiles in that set are worth double. So in this case, we have 3 adjacent tiles. They're all touching, again, either horizontally or vertically. They all have the brown Zeppelin on them, so they're all going to be worth double points. So this would be worth 2, 4, 6 points. Now the key thing is for evaluating whether or not they're connected with the Zeppelins, they don't even have to all be stolen. So these ones here are all considered part of a same adjacent set with 3 stolen tiles in it, because they're all connected by tiles with green Zeppelins on them, even though a lot of these are still face up and not stolen yet. So we have the 3 that are face down are stolen. This is worth 2, 4, 6. These ones that are part of the set but are not stolen are worth 0, but they still help you because they connect these 2 different ones and make them worth double points. Obviously, whoever has the most points at the end of the game is going to be your winner. A couple things I'll point out as far as rules are concerned. Number 1, whenever you spell a word, you want it to be a word that is different from a word that anybody else has already used. So if somebody else said run, you couldn't then say running on your turn. I would actually recommend take a pen and paper and write down the words people do, because you will forget what words people have already said, and so it helps to kind of keep track of them. Another thing is that some of the tiles, instead of being blue, are black tiles. Black tiles, sort of like how in Scrabble, more obscure letters are worth more points. The black tiles, the more obscure the letter is, the more powerful it is, because the black tiles actually have special abilities. And what the special abilities are actually defined on this card, and you each get a card that comes with it. It comes with the game. So the J is a Jinx Cannon. It allows you to use the same tile twice in a turn. So if I wanted to do Jester, and there was only 1 E on the board, normally I couldn't spell Jester with just 1 E, but if I use the J, then I get to go J, E. Because the J allows me to do it, I get to use the E a second time. S, T, sorry, now I'd use the E a second time, E, R, Jester. So different ones that are black tiles have different special abilities. If you steal a black tile, that means that every time you use that stolen tile, you get that special ability, but now nobody else can get that special ability. Key thing about the special power tiles is anybody who uses them in a word gets that special ability. It's not just if you steal them, it's anyone who uses it in the word on their turn. The other thing is that there is a rule in this game, a provision, for giving somebody a hint. All right, I don't have the rule book on me, so we're going to edit in and post what that provision is. It's awkward, I apologize. But yeah. So there you go. That's where domination works. Enjoy.